I will be placing this microphone on the mic stand right here for questions.
They're all hot.
Hello.
You're hot.
Morning, Nanda.
Bring up 1 through 4. 1 through 4.
Mine's one, but it's yay!
Hello.
One.
I'm just saying it's a small table.
That just means we have to get
Very
close.
close.
Like we like each other.
We've been on flights like this.
Oh, I know, and I got the middle seat. We're
I'm
middle
in the middle
seaters.
seat.
Aww. It's like
International
mom and
flight.
dad and middle
Crazy.
seat.
How did
Kids
you get
behave.
Boy, boy?
Do what?
How did it get like girl, boy, boy? It should be boy, girl, boy, girl.
You want to switch?
Yeah, like in 15 minutes we should
Okay,
change
well,
it
15
up.
minutes. We'll switch it up here. Switch it up a little bit.
Fun. Yes.
Hi guys, how you doing? Did you all sleep? Good. So proud. That's what you do at a con. You don't sleep.
No sleep.
But you do drink water, you do stay hydrated, and you do what, ladies and gentlemen? Shower. It's true.
Yes.
Oh, every con I want to say that out loud, and you just did it. That's great. Good for you. It's important. It's important for bathing.
You have
guys.
to. So, I mean, they know who we are, but like, just because we can, should we list some of the stuff that we've done? Maybe? Possible? Okay. Let's see. I was Annie Landhart in Attack on Titan. Sailor Neptune in the Medio Sailor Moon. Female Robin in Super Smash Brothers and Fire Emblem. Kyoku Sakura in Madoka Magica. And a ton of others, and most recently, I was announced as Neo Naruse in Testament of Sister New Devil. So, coming out this October, Halloween! Woo!
Hi, I'm Leah Clark.
Sexy lady.
I love you.
I love you.
Are you in a Toro outfit? Yes. Oh my gosh, I love you. Good Lord. I'm not eating any of that, by the way. So don't even try. Sure.
Because she just met you, she totes trust you. No, I'm just messing with you. Sorry, Leah, go ahead.
Oh, well, I do
You're
like,
hot.
You're hot.
You're beautiful.
Oh, thanks. Keep going. What? Stop it some more. I played Kobayashi in most Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I played Blair in Soul Leader, Mavis in Fairy Tale, and a lot of other fun things. So yeah, check it out.
How y'all doing? I'm Dante. What's up? I'm Rufio. It's kind of nice to have your own chant. It's kind of cool sometimes. It's crazy. I feel like I'm a WWE wrestler sometimes. I just walk through the mall and all of a sudden people start chanting Rufio and you're like, you just wave. I'm also Jake Long, the American Dragon. And I'm also the misunderstood prince of the Fire Nation, Zuko. Other stuff too, but those are some highlights.
I have to ask, was there a moment in your life where it wasn't like cool when people were chanting? Like, do you have a hard time with that?
No. I did hook when I was 15, so it was like, it was always cool.
Oh man, I think it's way cool. Hey, I'm Jason Marsden. Thank you. I was fortunate to be the voice of Max in a Goofy movie, an extremely Goofy movie. We're all Halloween fans. We like Halloween. That's one of my favorite holidays. This new thing that people like to watch every Halloween is a movie called Hocus Pocus. So that, and I got to voice Thackeray Bakes in that one. For real? Yes, are you a virgin? If you're a virgin, don't go anywhere near the black flame candle.
Oh my gosh.
You don't have to answer right away. You know.
I didn't know you were big. That's cute.
The reason why I'm here is thanks to Haku in Spirited Away. Chester McBadback and and a slew of other things as well. Yeah.
Cool story, bro. So I have to say though that Zuko is kind of misunderstood. It's not like he's a big brat or anything. Huh, Dante?
He's misunderstood.
Okay. We'll go with that. What do you guys think? Is he misunderstood? All right, we'll go with that. So this is going to be a Q&A where you guys ask us questions and we provide the answers. Now, in an organized fashion, please don't run over each other, there is a mic stand right over here. If you have a question, walk right on up, line up, and yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Oh, hi. Okay. My question is for Mr. Marsden. Mr. Marsden. Hello.
What's your name?
My name is Dana.
Dana, you were there last night, were you not?
I was.
All right.
So my question is, have you watched any anime? Is there an answer to that?
There is an answer to that. I have a little bit. I mean, when I was growing up, and I'm not against anime, it was just never in my world growing up. I had, Voltron was the way I had access. And that was way cool. We had voice actors that we've all worked with. Michael Bell, we were working on Super Friends, he's one of those legendary voice artists. And that's really about it, to tell the truth. And I never saw a Miyazaki film until I worked on Spirited Away. And in fact, I never even saw the entirety of Spirited Away until after we recorded it, which was all ADR. I only saw the bits that Haku was in. And then I was like, oh, okay, I get it. This guy's for real. So I'm definitely open to it. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, it's
Sarah?
that and Inuyasha, and if you want to get really specific, just watch number 6.
Okay, thank you, Dana.
Now here's the thing about Inuyasha, though. Do you like wasting time? Because it takes forever. So I'm just saying. Are you streaming right now? Yeah. What's up, Anime Unlocked? Say hi to our panel. Oh yeah, Leah, tell everybody about Anime Unlocked.
Hey, let me turn around. Hi! So Anime Unlocked is a new fan app, and it's kind of like Periscope, but it's like specifically for different pop culture, celebrities, anime people that you can connect with and chat with, and I'm streaming live right now, so hey, hold on, spin around, say hi to them. Hello. So yeah, check it out.
It is only available for iOS at the moment, but hopefully it will be available for Android soon. So, and then I'll finally be able to use it because Android's over iPhones any day. Yes! Anyway.
Don't be racist.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Juji, and I have a question for all of you, if that's okay.
No, it's not.
Oh,
Yes, of course.
What was your hardest role to voice act? Like, what was the hardest thing to do?
Ooh.
I forgot. I did. It was another, I guess, technically anime. Final Fantasy, those video games. Is that considered anime?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's part of the culture,
Okay.
but it's a game, so it has its own. It's a video. You be you, baby. You be you.
All right. I did Final Fantasy 13 point something, and I was Bill Price, and it was difficult because I had to. It was kind of like ADR. They had already recorded the Japanese performer first. And they would play his performance in my head, and I had to, in headphones, they didn't like inject it in my brain. I don't have that technology yet. And I had to match not the performance, but I had to match the exact timing of his delivery, which it's difficult because he spoke a lot faster than I do, and fit a lot of dialogue translated in English into a little bit of time. And we did regular recordings over 4 months. It was a great payday. I still can't tell you what the story's about. It was challenging. It was not the most fun project I ever worked on. What about you guys?
Go ahead, Dante.
I don't know. I mean, I did this TV show called Zero 3, which it's like a little show. We did like 26 episodes, and it's Skechers had these shoes. We all had our own shoe at Skechers. My name is Cool Breeze. And it was like this. It's cool to have your own shoe at Skechers, but I was playing like a 12-year-old, and so I had to pitch my voice up pretty high the whole time. And you know, you get scared because it's like every episode I was like, just fire me. I suck. Because they were like, you know, you do the whole show, and then everyone would leave. And they're like, Dante, can you stay? We need to go back and do. I'm like, then I'm just by myself in detention, just
I was gonna
redoing
say,
my
she's
lines.
like being in detention.
And I'm like, just fire me. Just get a 12-year-old in here.
Did they fire you?
They did not fire me. I got to do the whole show, and it's actually a cool show. I got to work with Mark Hamill again, and I got to work with Kevin McRoach and Great Alive, Kari Walker. It's like such a cool cast that it was.
You got to work with your family again.
My family again, exactly. I get to work with Great. It's always great to work with Great, but you know, it was just stressful every episode. Like, I suck at doing this character.
Just fire me.
But yeah, it was a good paycheck. It was fine.
Leah, what about you?
I did something similar. Like, it was one of my very first roles I ever did, and I chose this voice. It was for Notica and Negima. Has anyone seen that? It's way old school. I recorded it like 10 years ago. Thank you. And it was this just ridiculous sound. It was like, up here for no reason. And then she had, she talked a lot. So when you're up here trying to talk a lot for more than just 2 seconds, it's awful. It's just, and like the enunciation is hardly the same thing. It was my very first role, so I wasn't really good at putting things in mouth flaps and talking like that and making it sound realistic. I thought I was fired. I was crying on my way home. I recorded maybe like 2 or 3 episodes that day, and I was like bawling to my friend. I was like, I really think they fired me. I'm so bad at it. Like, and she was like, okay, wait, come on. How many episodes have you recorded? And I was like, I recorded 3 of them. And she's like, okay, they're not gonna go back and recast you. You're fine. I'm like, okay. But it was so awful. Like it was like a lot of repeating. Like the director was calling Quickenbeard, so she was basically feeding me the lines so that I could repeat after her and make them fit properly. I mean, it was a beating that first round, so that was
Gotta
fun.
learn somehow, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably the same. Higher pitched characters tend to be very difficult because it's all the way up here. It's what we call a head voice, and that can be a little difficult and very exhausting at the same time. Another character that I can think of is the character 1 from Drakengard 3. It's a Square Enix game. She's crazy, and she starts off really quiet in the beginning, and then at the end of the game, she just decides to scream nonstop for no reason. I can't explain it. I haven't played the game yet. It's Square Enix. I mean, come on. So it's a beautiful game, but she just screams nonstop, and you know, we've all done video games, and we have to, yell and, scream during attacks and damages and all that. This was screaming for no reason. So that was a little difficult, but it was so satisfying. It was so satisfying because it just sounded so good. So I was really happy with it.
It'd be a little like therapy.
Oh, very therapeutic, absolutely. It's just, we didn't know how much screaming there was, and usually when we have an idea of how much screaming there's going to be, we can mentally prepare ourselves, therefore we can vocally prepare ourselves, we can pace ourselves. I didn't get to do that, so I lost my voice by the end of the session. And I wanted to continue, but the director's like, no. I'm like, I can't continue, it's fine. And she's like, really? Do you hear yourself? I'm fine, just give me some tea and honey and she's like, no. So, that was it.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm Nathan.
What's up, Nathan?
Pretty good. I feel kind of guilty because my question is for Bosco. Although when I found out all the other voice actors up here, I kind of fell apart because it's like these are a lot of amazing roles that could be asking questions for.
It's cool, man.
It's cool.
Bring it.
Oh.
But
Love you no matter what.
well, thanks. But for me, one of the most emotional series I've ever watched was Avatar: The Last Airbender. And nothing really was so emotionally responding to me as much as the relationship between Zuko and his uncle Iroh.
Oh yeah. Right here in the heels. My heart's on this side. Right here. Right here.
Yeah, true.
So, what would you say is the greatest takeaway from the whole series of that relationship?
The greatest take. I mean, me and Mako, who played Uncle Iroh, we had a real relationship. He's played my uncle or my father, I think 3 or 4 times in my career. So, I think the first time I worked when I was 12 years old, and we did a movie Perfect Weapon together, play my uncle and play my father in a thing for Showtime called Riot, about the LA riots. And he's kind of watched me growing up, and I've seen him throughout Hollywood parties and functions throughout my life, and he passed away during the last season of Avatar. So in a lot of ways, he was my Uncle Iroh. He was someone I could go to for advice, someone that watched me grow up. He was an Asian American actor that, this really prolific guy that in Hollywood, it's a very important Asian American actor. He started the biggest, the longest running people of color theater in the country called East West Players Theater. Yeah, it's a place that I've done plays in, a place I've written plays in. So so my biggest takeaway is my relationship with Mako, right? When he passed away, Mako's nominated for an Oscar. He's one of these really important Asian American actors, and you've realized in his passing, like, oh my God, I'm part of that lineage also. And what he's kind of created for our generation, it ended up inspiring me to create something for the next generation, where I created a film company, Connect Films. We do Asian American films. And I created an Asian American arts collective downtown LA called We On the 8th. It's all about curating and kind of just educating the next generation of content creators. So the biggest takeaway is that relationship with me and Mako, and it's kind of unspoken, but it's really like Zuko and Iroh, so that's the biggest takeaway.
Thank you. This performance in Samurai Jack is ridiculous. You've seen Samurai Jack?
Yeah, of course.
Hi, I'm Lauren, and I was just wondering, what's your favorite part about recording and being in the booth?
Wait, what did you say your name was?
Lauren.
Oh, hi, Lauren. I love your name, and I love your cosplay, by the way. It's from a fantastic show. I'm sorry, what was the question?
What's your favorite part about recording and being in the booth?
Working with all the other knucklehead voice actors.
In anime, we don't really get to record with the other actors, so it's really just ourselves in a padded room. Oops. Just, with the director and the engineer judging us with each line and every reaction. But that's my favorite part of it.
I would say I like the ability to kind of just focus in on the soul and the mind of the character. It's kind of relaxing to just zone out and just be. I do a lot of stage work too, so I'm constantly being aware of cheating out and talking to, performing towards an audience. So this is just kind of zeroing in and, just being. Good.
Yeah, for me too, it's like hanging out with these other voice actors. It's like you're in a room with all these actors, and we're all knuckleheads, and half the time I feel like I suck at my job. And people are like, it's funny because you're just there with actors that I totally look up to, crazy cats, like Kevin Mike Richardson or Great Lau or Mae Whitman, and they just kind of make fun of each other. They make fun of me a lot. Yeah, because I'm a stander. Everyone sits. And they're doing, I'm a stander.
I do with my shoes off, my socks off.
I keep my shoes on.
I keep
my shoes on. But I also talk really fast in life. I talk really fast. And so half the time, the director's always like, what did you say? Slow down, go back. And I don't enunciate. I'm the worst voice actor in the world. I don't enunciate correctly. I speak too fast.
They're doing something right. I don't know.
And so I'm like, so Maywood will always be like, do you know what you're doing? I'm like, no, man, I don't. We've only done 3 series together.
There are times where in animation where we work individual, and that's why I say like I definitely it's refreshing when you have other people to play off of.
But they're so crazy. Like some of these voice actors have like the naughtiest mouths in the booth.
Awful.
Where I'm like, you guys are crazy. If we had a microphone, we didn't have microphones. If I was recording this, I could blackmail everybody.
Indeed.
Everybody would be going to jail.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren.
Hi, I'm Isabel, and I want to be a voice actor when I get like out of high school. Like, what do you recommend for me to like how to get that started?
Okay, so we're like all ready to jump on this. Okay, so the first thing that I would recommend is, since what grade are you in?
Sophomore.
You're sophomore, okay. I would suggest getting involved in theater.
I'm at a performing arts high school right now.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so one step in, that's awesome. Theater experience, theater training really is a wonder. It helps train you for pretty much everything. The unfortunate thing that I'm going to say is that one of those perks of voiceover is that it helps to be where the work is. I don't know how big the voiceover market is out here. I don't. There could be radio. I honestly have no idea. But it depends on what you're looking to get into. But again, my first suggestion is to get involved in theater. That is very important because it trains you for a lot of different things. And then to try and look for classes that offer workshops in voiceover. That's my first suggestion.
Yes, I'll mirror that. Improv classes, you know, and you got to learn to, it's. I can't talk because I'm still late. It's not just saying words in a microphone. It is acting, and it's voice acting. Mel Blanc. Do we know about who Mel Blanc is? Mel Blanc is the voice of Bugs Bunny and Tweety Bird and Sylvester and Barney Rubble and all these cats. And not just because he can just do amazing voices, but he was really gifted performer. That's why scene study, theatrical improv is so important.
Woo! Yeah, just become a good actor. Like first and foremost, become a good actor. And then you're gonna make it to Hollywood or New York or Dallas. There's a lot of voiceover stuff, but voice acting is one corridor of like the whole acting world. But at the end of the day, it's like you have to become a good actor no matter which place you end up in. So become a good actor.
It's a really good point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Layla.
Hi, Layla.
Hi, Landa.
You've, in the last few questions, you've partially answered a lot of what I wanted to ask, but I wondered what are some of the unexpected differences in the ways you create yourselves or your characters when you're going between live action acting and voice acting?
So for me, I just do the same thing, right? So like I came into voice acting through live action, and I'm not really changing my performance, whether it be cameras in the room or microphones in the room. How I approach every character is the same way. It's like very much you do your work on who the character is, and you do your character study, and you kind of start to create your character. But then ultimately, when you're acting, for me, it's all about finding truth, being truthful in the moment, telling the story, doing the scenes with people, and just being truthful with what you're in your performance. So, like I said, it goes back to being a good actor, and there's different kind of actors, whether it be film or television, right? There's a lot of actors that may be further from themselves, do a lot of different character stuff, and there's a lot of actors that end up getting cast in a lot of things that are closer to themselves, which is me. A lot of times, a lot of characters is just me trying to be truthful. It's just a version of me in that situation, like a version of me that can fire bend. But still like a lot of Dante in Zuko or a lot of Dante in Jake Long. So for me, it's always just me putting myself in that situation, and I would be interested to see if they shot me in the booth, because it's really a very similar performance. Like you watch me and Mako doing the scenes in the booth, it's very similar to what we'd be doing outside the blocking, outside like the choreograph, kind of like what we'd be moving like. The scene would be the same kind of moments, the same kind of, we're still trying to have this real conversation or have real moments. So there's nothing really different, and it's the same approach in that way. Just different vocal technique you gotta see on mic, and there's things you gotta know about that. But as far as the feeling that you're getting, you should feel the same way when you're doing the voice acting of it or you're doing the scene of it. If it's emotional, if it's joy, if it's still there. You're still touching the same emotion, the same stuff. Hopefully. Hope that answers your question.
Hey, Dante.
Yes, Lauren.
Can you say you are the pan?
To you.
To everybody. I want to hear it.
You are the band.
You're talking about live action, so I figured I'd just slip it
How do
in.
I still sound like I'm 15? That's not possible, is it?
You still got it. You still got it.
Got it. Hello.
Hello. So right now I'm super nervous.
Okay. It's okay. What's your name?
What's your name? Oh. Not me? Okay.
My name's Diane. I actually have a question for Dante Basco. So I followed your career for a very long time, since I'm gonna say Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Thank you very much.
Were you a Fresh Prince?
I was. You want to see my boo-boo? Yeah.
So from that time on, I've always had admiration for what you do, and whether it's live action or voiceover. And I'm specifically at this convention for you. That's it.
Thank you.
So my question is, I do a lot of stuff. I paint, I draw, I do collectible figures with Marvel and DC. I do so many other things. I break dance, I do practically everything. I would love to collaborate with you on anything. I know that you have 30 and something. I know that you do YouTube. I would love to collaborate, and I have a drawing for you as well. So.
Thank you, Diane. Come by later on, we're doing a sign. Just come by. I'd love to talk to you about, collaborating on something. That'd be great. I love it, man.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi.
You look adorable.
Thank you. Sorry. So first of all, I want to say voice acting is my passion, and I kind of stepped my foot in the door, with very small individual projects, like with some people, like recording in a tiny little closet. You can't be claustrophobic when you're voice acting. Yeah. So also, this is completely beside the point, but do you understand Tagalog, Dante Basco?
Konti lang. Very little.
Mahal kita.
Salamat.
For those that don't know, that means I love you. Anyway, so my question is applicable to everybody. Whether it was a more obscure role that you were just personally proud of, or something that put you on a map, is there a voice acting or live action or any kind of role that you personally loved and you're most proud of, that gives you kind of the best story and pride and love for your work?
When I was 17 years old, I worked on this TV series called Erie, Indiana. It was very short-lived, and I was cast in the second season, which is probably why I got canceled. If you look at my history, I joined casts of shows, and the show gets canceled.
You're the show killer.
I'm the show killer. But it was, I worked with one of my favorite directors, Joe Dante from Gremlins.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
I love that dude.
Amazing experience. Actors like Ray Walston from My Favorite Martian, and a lot of old-timey actors. And it was shot like a movie, and I got to play this this kid with gray hair and tattoos. He didn't know where he came from, and I was the kind of foil for the main character, who was played by Omri Katz, who I later worked with again in Hocus Pocus.
Killed the show.
I killed the show. Sean Astin's dad.
His dad in real life?
Yes. Gomez Adams.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, worked with some fantastic actors. It was shot like little movies. I had a blast, and I always cherish that show.
Okay, I have to go. No, I meant like answer what. Let's see. There's a lot of characters that I've been doing this for about 11 years, and with each character, I've been really fortunate that I've just really been having a blast playing them. There's a couple roles here and there that I will hold even closer to my heart. So when I was about 12, 13, I got into this beautiful culture called anime. And the first anime that I ever checked out was Sailor Moon. And this was the original 90s dub when they had just started putting it on Toonami. And I started to watch it, and I fell in love with the show. And then they repeated the first couple seasons a little bit, and then they redubbed the rest of it. And in between then, a friend of mine had copies of the old VHS tapes for the original sub version. So we watched the original sub version, and I fell in love with Uranus and Neptune right away, absolutely, because they're badass. And I said, gosh, they're probably my favorite characters in the whole show. Wow, that's so cool. So then, fast forward to X amount of years later, Viz Media picks up Sailor Moon, and the main five are cast, and people would ask me, do you want to, what if you could name one show, or what role would you ever want to be? And I had two. My first dream role is, and it still is to this day, is Harley Quinn, Harley from Batman. And the second being Sailor Neptune from Sailor Moon. And I said, but it's probably not going to happen, and that's okay. I just want to be a part of the new dub. Even if I play a monster, or even if I play one of the villains, or I don't care. I just want to be a part of it. I want to be able to say that I was a part of it, because it's a big part of my childhood, and it was the first anime that I ever watched. So I ended up getting the audition from Viz Media, and they said, hey Lauren, I'm sorry, not Viz Media, the studio. And they said, so we want you to audition for Uranus, Saturn, and Neptune. And I nearly freaked out. I was like, oh my God. So I spent a good, I don't even know how long, probably six hours on this one audition. And I was super nervous. I was like, this is so important to me. This is so important to me. So then I recorded it and I sent it in. And then I had to fly to Texas, I think, to record some more Titan at the time. And then, was it Titan? I don't remember. Either way, I was in Texas at the time. And I'm just browsing on my phone, and then I get a little email. I'm like, oh, hey, that's from Studiopolis, awesome. And the studio has written me an email saying, hey Lauren, we just want to say, congratulations, you've been cast as Sailor Neptune. And I was like, a friend of mine was driving in a car, and I was like, here, Leah, lean forward a little bit. Okay, I was like, just very subtle. And she turns to me and she's like, are you okay? What's wrong? And I said, I'm Sailor Neptune. She's like, what? I said, I don't understand, it's fine. So, being able to play my favorite character from when I was a kid, that's pretty special for me. So.
That's a
Drag that story on for dramatic effect, doesn't matter.
Wow. Gosh, I don't have one that specifically defines everything. I feel like I've been really fortunate to play a lot of really awesome roles. But I think one of the highlights definitely was playing Kobayashi in Dragon Maid, just because the character was so, I don't know, unusual, like something like I've never played, but something I relate to so well. And she's just got like that dry sense of like over it humor. So I think that was one of my faves.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Rufio and Zuko, they both kind of changed my life in different times of my life, so that goes without saying. But there's a film I did in the, I guess it was late 90s, early 2000s, called The Debut, which is
I remember that movie.
yeah, The Debut. It's an indie film I did. It's the first Filipino-American film ever. So and I got to star in it. It was the first time in my career, I think I was like 21 or 22, and I'd been acting since I was 10. It was the first time I got to play Filipino in Hollywood. And so it, you know, became this very cult classic Asian American film in colleges, Asian American study classes all over the country. You know, they cover my career, but they cover that film in specific. And so it's a very special film because I got to work with my family and I actually got to see, you know, figuratively faces of my family on the Hollywood screen for the first time ever. So that's important from The Debut. Ben Mercado in The Debut. Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, my name is Mariah.
Hi, Mariah.
I'm really excited to meet you all. I'm just like, sorry. Do you have any funny bomb stories?
Oh, bomb stories. So what a bomb is when we leave like a little outtake or an ad-lib line for another actor to hear once they've come into the booth. The next, you know, if they hear it in their headphones. I do, but they're not appropriate. And they're not even mine, they're Ben Diskin's. So, and when Ben and I have worked together in a couple different video game projects, and oh yeah, it was Merlin in Seven Deadly Sins, I forgot about that one. In Seven Deadly Sins, you know, Merlin and Bond, they have a couple scenes together. That was ridiculous, especially in the OVA. I won't even go there. But anyway, yes, we've worked together on several different video game projects. And for some reason, in most video games that we're together, our characters are either best friends or love interests. It makes no sense. But he would leave me the worst bombs. Like, I'm talking not even original, like he looked them up on the internet. Like, so they were just bad, so bad, and that's all I'll say. We loved them for each other though. It was a lot of fun. How about you, Leah?
Well, little baby Sarah, who played your character, Toru, she used to leave them for me constantly. So there's several outtakes where I would tell, as Kobayashi, tell Toru to do something, and instead of saying her, like, you know, sweet giving line, she'd be like, you know, stop bleeping, bossing me around, you bleeping bleep. So, it was fine. But I think the funniest thing that happened that wise is I was recording a show, it's called School Rumble, and it's directed by my best friend Brita Palencia, and there was this one line that was just like two flaps, and she was like, I don't really know what I want here, so I'm just gonna keep rolling the beeps, and you just repeat the line over and over again until I hear what I want. And she's like, because I don't really have a direction. And I was like, okay, cool. So it's like beep, 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 line, beep, 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 line. And it just like keeps going. It's like, I'm like doing it 12, 13, 14 times. And like, so I finally was just like, Brina, what do you want? And like, I look out there and she's gone. She was like, so, yeah, that was good.
Oh, Brina.
I did one, and it was in Final Fantasy. I had to record a line that, no matter how I was going to say it, the actress who was playing a different character for some reason had to mirror it. So I decided to have a little fun. So the line was something like we have to change the future. Mill's very serious. And he's like, we have to change the future. So that was like my real take. And then like, just for fun, I was like, I'm gonna do something, make sure you play this for her. This is the one that she has to mirror. So I said, we have to change the future. And I wasn't there the day they recorded, but the director said he played it for her and just totally played it straight. Like, yeah, you have to copy that.
I will say, I do remember one, it was for, I recorded a couple small roles a couple years ago in Dragon Ball Z Kai, and there's a scene where Gohan is with the old Kai, who's trying to reawaken his inner powers, or awaken his inner powers, something like that. Some Dragon Ball reference, I don't know, pick one. So Gohan is meditating, and old Kai is just, holding out his hands, trying to bring forth the inner power. And then all of a sudden you hear this music, and Gohan opens his eyes, and old Kai is doing that, but his head is turned, and he's watching a fitness video. And I played a fitness instructor on that video, and I left a bomb for Kyle, and I said something like, "Welcome to Lauren Landa's Butt Blaster workout, Kyle A. Bear. Hope you're ready," or something like that. So that was the only kid-friendly bomb that I can remember. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello. Hi, my name is Joey. Oh,
You're good.
I have a question for the two people who worked with Disney. What did you like most about working with Disney, and can you still do the voices of your most well-known characters from that?
My favorite part of working for Disney is the perks. You get to go on the park sometimes, and they invited me on the cruise ship. It was Max and hey, my dad, you're doing a Q&A on a cruise ship. I still do Max occasionally. They brought me in. I played Kovu in Lion King 2. They brought me in for the new thing they're doing. The what is it? Lion Guard. Yeah, that's it. It's like a prequel. It's post Lion King, but before Lion King 2, but not quite Lion King 1.5. Donuts. It's a money making thing. That's all they do.
It's great work. It's great work for Disney. They're a really cool company. You do get perks. Like, while I was on American Dragon, I got to go to the park whenever I wanted to, which is cool. And I still work with Disney on my digital stuff and with Disney Digital Network. So they do a lot of stuff with I don't know, like these Star Wars stuff. Like, I just did a thing for R2-D2. Last year they flew me to Hong Kong to unbox some other toys. So there's a lot of Disney perks for sure. As far as Jake Long, yeah, I'm still Jake Long. A lot of people go, "Are you more like Rufio or are you more like Zuko?" And I go, "Actually, I'm pretty much like Jake Long. Like, I'm like this hip hop kid who can turn into a dragon."
Thank you. We only have a few minutes, and we're going to do like a speed round.
Lightning round. So make sure the questions are easy and quick, guys.
Okay, my name is Chris, and I'm kind of biased. I'm here for Dante mostly, but I got a question.
What's up, Chris?
Not much. During when Avatar: The Last Airbender came out, I was actually training under 3 of the martial arts that were used in that, so I feel 3/4 of Avatar, even shaved my head and put an arrow on it. That was pretty awesome.
You're almost the Avatar.
Yeah, almost.
3/4.
Dedicated, bro.
My question is for Zuko, Kobayashi, and Max. Okay, this is a little spoilerly, so I'll be as vaguely specific as possible. There was a part in one of the episodes where you're learning firebending from 2 ancient dragons.
Right.
Sorry, I said spoilers. So I was wondering if you were to learn firebending from the Kobayashi dragons, what kind of form would that be? And I was going to ask Max, what would his dad be like if he was a firebender?
That's crazy. There's a lot of crazy questions. I'm not 100% sure. I think firebending was Wing Chun.
It's Northern Shaolin.
Northern Shaolin. So I'm not sure. We'd have to ask Sifu Kisu, who's actually not too far from here, who did a lot of the martial arts. choreography for the characters, but I don't know how it would change really. I'm not sure, Chris.
Great question.
But how would Max be a firebender?
How would Goofy be?
Well, hold on a second. What element didn't you learn? Don't tell me it wasn't firebending.
Oh no, I got firebending.
Okay.
It was earthbending.
Earthbending. Okay, that's fine.
I think if Goofy was like a firebender, there'd be a lot of Max going, Dad, you burned the kitchen down again.
Goofy's definitely an earthbender.
So is.
Such an earthbender.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Wow, it's everywhere. Hello. My name is Cara.
Hi,
nice
Cara.
to meet you. I have a couple of quick questions, but the first
Lightning round.
Yes. First one is, what's a piece of advice you could give to someone auditioning for acting or voice acting? And then the other one is, what's the weirdest voice you could do right now?
Weirdest voice, but first advice on auditioning.
Be prepared. When you audition, be prepared. Be prepared. Like, do work. Go in the room prepared.
Get out of your head.
This is going to slightly contradict Dante a little bit, but you know, don't lose your mind. You know, be prepared, but also, you know, learn it, forget about it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Makes no sense now, but it does make a lot of sense.
It kind of does. I've done like high school or theater auditions before.
Man, you're on your way.
You're on your way, but yeah.
I agree with these two.
Weird voice? Want to do weird voice? Anyway.
Weird voice. You have a line?
I played a duck that sounds like this. And he was super cute, and he played the drums.
I'd say Kobe's my weirdest voice.
I only play myself.
Just make me
I do some stuff sometimes, like, Dante, do that troll or something. I'm like, all right, and it's just like, hey, what's going on?
Dante Basco hired to play Dante Basco.
I never get booked to use it. I try using this voice, but I never.
The Jennifer Tilly voice.
That's pretty good.
Corky, I want to get the money, Corky.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi there. Sorry, my voice is going out. My name is Maddie.
Hi, Maddie.
Mine is actually for Dante, because I was wondering, hopefully you at least know of the comic books, but I always found Zuko's relationship with his mother very interesting, and I was just wondering how you feel about it now, like after the comic books, and you know how everything kind of changed after the series.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think that drove a lot of the character, like his non-relationship with his mother or the abandonment of his mother. So I think he's gonna make him a better Fire Lord now that he kind of reconnected with his mother in his own way, you know. But I think when you're building characters, you're always trying to find a thing called pathology, like what makes a character tick, like what is their thing. I think the thing with his mom and of course the thing with his dad are the two things that really created who Zuko was.
Yeah.
And then his crazy ass sister. So kill him all the time. But I think I really would love to see that animated, the comic book of what, you know, how he finds his mother and that whole thing. But
I think his reaction, like being able to see it in a cartoon form would be very interesting.
yeah, it would be really
When
cool.
he finds her, yeah.
But I think who knows, we may do it sometime in the future.
That would be cool.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I'm Vivian, and my question is, how do you deal with failure?
How do you do with what?
Failure.
Failure. Well, failure is a crime.
experience failure, just rejection. That's different.
No, it is. Absolutely, it is.
Short memory. You can't think about failure or rejection. It's like, okay, what's next? You know, really, you gotta have a short memory in this business, or else you couldn't survive.
Yeah, you can't try not to take it personally. I'm guilty of this all the time. Every time I don't book something, especially something I really want, I go on like a mini tirade in my house.
You do?
Oh yeah. Well, and also I journal. Yeah, you guys know like the Artist Way book.
Yeah.
You should try this. They 3 pages a day. You just write nonsense. You're just like, I'm holding a pen and there's a bag of Ritz next to me, and oh, yesterday I auditioned for this and I didn't book it. Just get it out. Let's find other ways to purge what's in here, and then you move on to the next gig.
Rejection is a big part of any part of life, but especially acting. We just kind of, once we decide we want to become actors, that just comes with the territory, because we can't all get the roles that we want. Maybe except for Dante,
Because when I found out later on in life, you audition so much for so many things, and then my acting coach one time said, just have fun for yourself. And what you realize is, like, I love to act, right? So if I have an audition, today's the day for me to act. And I go into the room, and it's like, you're gonna see this performance. This may be the one performance of this character, so you're, lucky, because you're gonna see me do this performance one time maybe. And it's just trying to just remember, like, that's what it's about, you doing what you love. And you may not get the job, but that's not the point sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's not a failure, you're not a failure. It's not a rejection sometimes. They've hired other people that I really like, they've hired family members that jobs I didn't get, and then I'm just happy sometimes to do the performance even that day.
What does Rob Paulson say that our real job is auditioning?
Yeah.
That's our job.
Absolutely, auditioning is the one to say like 80% of it, 75,
Totally.
80% of it. Anyway, rejection is a big part of it. Failure is completely different. Only you can, I'm sorry, this might sound harsh, but you have the power to allow yourself to feel like you have failed. No one else should have that power. So. Okay, really quick.
Okay, I have a couple questions for Dante. It's gonna be a quickie one. First up, how does it feel when you play your first role of Rufio from the movie Hook?
It felt good. I mean, you're 15, you're doing this really big movie. It's such a crazy thing. You're working with icons, you're working with gods in the industry, and I knew that. And so I would always tell people, have the presence, have the wherewithal to know when you're in the presence of greatness. Because when you're in the presence of greatness, just listen, just sit there and absorb and be a sponge. And so it was a time of my life. It's really amazing.
Okay, that's good. And the second question, I don't know if you're okay with this or not, but I made this for you if you wanted to have it or not.
Sure, thank you so much. Yeah, bring it up.
Yay!
I didn't know this, but apparently Dante wore 3 mohawks as Rufio.
The tri-hawk.
The tri-hawk. I'm sorry. That's so. But did it feel heavy?
It was I don't know, aerodynamic.
Hello.
Hello, I'm Evan. It's actually
Ben Diskin?
No.
It's like he does the thing with this.
Oh, okay, cool.
The compliment.
This is my first ever con. It's
What?
Yeah.
Welcome to your game.
Welcome to con. Wow, this is a good con to start with.
It feels like it. I was just curious if, given your history with voice acting, if there's ever a role that you landed where you had no problem with, you enjoyed doing the lines and stuff, but after going through the entire script, you realized you don't like this character. I like the lines, I just don't like this person.
Well, I just know in anime, we don't have that option. We kind of, when we're cast as that character, we're stuck with that character whether we like them or not, until we, because unless we've seen the whole series, mind you, but it's kind of an adventure for us with each episode. So, would you agree?
Yeah, that's the whole thing about acting is you're stuck with the character, and the character's stuck with you. So your job is to kind of like find out why why you do what you do. So you don't really, I guess you could hate yourself a little bit, but hopefully by the end of it, you'll find love for yourself. Hopefully, the great joy will find love for himself.
Misunderstood characters. You gotta find a sister first. I love all my guys and gals I have voice. You got it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think we're almost done. We're gonna take 2 more quick questions. Super quick.
Alright, super quick.
Super quick.
How you guys doing? My name's Will.
Hi, Will.
Super glad to be here. This is my first con as well.
Yo, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I have a quick question for Dante. I'm a huge fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Basically, watched it since the second grade, every single week, new episodes.
That's crazy because you're a grown man with a beard.
Huge fan. After the series ended, I was reading some of the comics and I was wondering why they were never adapted for television as soon as they came out. Was it sales? Was it a falling out with the Nickelodeon studio? Like I was just
I think Nickelodeon wanted to move on to the next Avatar, and Mike and Brian just went there, and so they still love the story, and so instead of doing a spin-off series, they did a comic book thing. I think that's what happened.
Oh, okay, so they did the comic book thing. And would you ever work with the Nickelodeon studio in the future?
Of course, yeah. I'm there a lot doing, we always auditioning there, so it's a good campus.
All right, well, to see you on there again soon.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, Will. Thank you.
Yo, my name's Jordan. This is also my first con as well. So I actually drove all the way out here from the Springs, more so to see Dante. It was kind of like a last minute. What's up?
It's okay. We feel totes loved, man. It's totes. Dante show.
Where did you drive from?
From the Springs.
From Colorado Springs?
Yeah, about an hour away. So I actually did have a question for all of you. More so, what was your most did you ever have any embarrassing moments while voicing any voice or characters, anything like that? But I understand it's a lightning round, so the only thing I want to do to close it out is that I have a friend in the audience. His name is Eli. Dante, if you could give him a shout out, your Zuko voice, welcoming him to the Fire Nation, I think that'd be pretty dope.
Eli, where are you at? Eli, this is your Fire Lord Zuko. Welcome you to the Firebenders. Now, go and find the Avatar and regain your honor.
So, thank you guys so much for coming. We all have a signing together at 1 o'clock, so please come see us then.
Come see us at 1 o'clock, you guys.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Last time, thank you to Landa, Leah Clark, Dante Basco, and Jason Marsden.